Hi, this is Jeff from the Ozark Mountains in Missouri, USA. This video is about a problem I had with my 2011 Mini Countryman that's got the R60 engine. About 2 years ago, I replaced the intake and exhaust oil control solenoids for the diagnoses, the variable cam timing stuff, and it ran fine, for like a year and a half. And then started getting all sorts of stupid codes intermittently. It would run fine, and then it wouldn't, and you'd get, like cam stuck. Then it would be fine for a couple weeks, and then you would get something else. And I got frustrated with it. I was tired of working on it. So I just let it set for probably 6 months. Needed to get the registration renewed, so I had to get it inspected, so I needed to get it fixed. So I took a look at it again, and now the code changed to P0343, which is intake cam timing sensor circuit high. So that could indicate it was a wiring problem, or it could be a sensor problem. So this video is about a real quick way of determining if you have a wiring problem or a sensor problem, and then the fix. And then at the end, I'll briefly go over a really weird problem with the TPMS not wanting to reset, the tire pressure monitoring system, not wanting to reset as a result of a dead battery. That really floored me. Anyhow, let's get started. Today we're working on my 2011 Mini Countryman. Seems like I spend more time working on this thing than actually driving it. Originally it had an intake cam circuit high code P0343. I swapped the sensors. We'll take a look at those shortly. It takes about 5 minutes to swap them right beside each other. After swapping the sensors, that changed to P0368, which is the exhaust cam. So this tells us that the problem is the sensor and not in the wiring or the ECU or anything like that. Pretty simple 5-minute diagnosis. Ordered a couple new OEM sensors. They were 20 bucks a piece, made by Bosch. No big deal. I'll pop up a couple of pictures here that show what those codes are if you scan it with a scanner that'll do the BMW/Mini codes. Right now I'm just in OBD2. So I'm going to go ahead and swap in the new sensors. I'll show you that. And then we'll clear the codes, start it up, and see what happens. Okay, here we are. This is the turbocharged 1.6 engine, I think R56. This is the exhaust sensor. You might just be able to see I labeled the plug E, but the sensor says I because I swapped the sensors. This plug says I, sensor says E. The sensors come, there's little bitty sensors come in this gigantic box right here, one per box like that. So what you want to do is take this hose loose, just pop these little wings out, slip it up, it'll come off here, and then you can get to these 8mm screws. Pop that retaining thing up like that. One cap screw right there on each. Swap the sensors out, and then we'll reset it. Okay, there we go. Got both sensors in. Plugged our hose back in, and watch, there is an electrical connector here too. There's supposed to be a little ring around here that holds the two together, but those always break, so make sure you get that plugged in at the same time. Let's go reset the codes and see what happens when we start it. Okay, OBD2 mode, running clear treble codes. Engine off, key on, yes. Those have been cleared. Go ahead and start it. And read treble codes, pending codes. Still running rough. I bet it's going to have to relearn. Misfires. Okay. Nope. Read treble code. Multiple misfires. Okay, but that's not related to what we had before. Interesting. What I'm trying now is the electronic valve control limit relearn. Given that that intake sensor was so wonky, and then I swapped it into the exhaust sensor, the engine computer could have gotten a state where it didn't know what was what. And this procedure is going to work a little different on every scan tool. I've got an X-Tool D8 here, which has worked fine for what I need to use it for. Every model of every scan tool works great on some cars, less great on other cars, doesn't work worth a hoot on some brands, etc. So if you watch the guys that do this for a living, they'll have 3 or 4 or 5 different scan tools because some work better on some cars for some functions, etc. So I'll go through this procedure. You've got to wait till the start-stop light here goes out, and then click OK. Let's just, there we go. It went out. Okay. Okay. The status of the ignition switch. No, it is off. When the ignition light has gone out, switch the back on. Okay. So we got to wait for the light to go out again. I don't know why manufacturers put in all these silly things, which just waste time. Just makes it a lot more complicated than it has to be. Okay, about 30 seconds later, the light went out. And it says when it's gone out, switch the ignition back on. Okay. Yes, it's on. It'll now be adjusted. Done. Okay. Go back. 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 System selection. Drivetrain. Engine. Live data. Misfire counters. Nope, still 2 and 4. Okay. I'm going to pull those plugs out and check them. Okay, I was wrong earlier about the engine number. It's an R60. So I pulled plugs 1 and 4. They were suited up from when it wasn't running very good. So I cleaned them up. And just going to go ahead and clear the codes. Okay. Do a full scan again. Okay. System selection, drivetrain, engine, live data, misfire. Start it up. It's better. Although cylinder 2. That's confusing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cylinder 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I need to clean plug 2. Cleaning plug 4 helped out quite a bit. So if I can clean plug 2, this plug 4 might be a phantom thing. I'll do that and come right back. Okay, I cleaned plugs 2 and 3, which I should have done before. Two and 4 are still showing a little bit. And considering how old the gas in this car is, I'm not going to complain about that. I just need to let it warm up. the engine to come up to temperature so it can burn nice and clean, and I think we'll be okay. Okay, let the engine come up to operating temperature. Took a couple spins around the block, pumped up the tires, and it's running great now. So it also seems to be a thing on these little mini engines that if they get out of sort, they like to foul up the plugs. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to take the plugs out and use a little brass brush and some carburetor cleaner to clean them up, and then you're right as rain. So hopefully this helps somebody. Since the sensors are the same, so close together, easy to swap them to see if the problem changes. And I'll put the place I ordered the sensors from below. That's Auto House, Arizona. No connection, they're not a sponsor. They just sell OEM parts for European vehicles, which are a lot cheaper than buying from the car manufacturer, and they're the same companies that make the parts for the car manufacturer. So I've driven the Mini for about a week now after this fix. Everything's running fine, filled it full of fresh gas. Really happy. Had some problems getting that tire pressure monitoring reset. I thought maybe I just need to drive it at highway speeds or something like that. No. This Mini doesn't use tire pressure sensors in the wheels. It uses the ABS wheel speed encoders and calculates the rolling radius of the tires to see if they're properly inflated or not. And that makes it awfully picky. And I thought, well, maybe I didn't get them inflated quite right. I checked that, checked with a couple other gauges. It was fine. So I finally went through the scan tool and looked for something like an ECU reset or master reset or something, because since the battery died because it set so long, I figured it had to be something to do with, a low battery condition causing a stupid problem in the ECU. And what I found at the end was the reset service counters, which is like your oil change, yada, yada, yada. And that also sets the time and date, because I hadn't bothered setting the time and date because, thought I might have to disconnect the battery to do some work on it. So I went through that. It reset the time and date. TPMS went off right like that. Drove it about 100 yards, and the light in the center of the dash went off too. So I don't know if it's resetting the service counters that did it or setting the time and date. Either way, it's stupid. The other thing I noticed, I couldn't reset the odometer until I got the TPMS reset. So whatever was causing the TPMS to not want to reset was what not let me reset the odometer, which is stupid. Anyhow, just thought I'd pass that tip along. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down there below. Would love to hear from you. And until next time, bye.